Baseball is the greatest game in the world.
The tribal chief, the head of the table.
DraftKings podcast host Jared Carrabis.
Acknowledge him.
The best ever.
If I wanted to, I could have played professional baseball.
We're going to talk baseball. Wow.
We're rubbing it in the faces of people who think that the sport's dead. We're here to show you that it's not. When people say, this is my life, no. Like this is my life.
No time.
Hey, welcome everybody to the latest, greatest episode of the Sweat Tuesday Takeover with Jared Carrabis. Starring Jared Carrabis, Steve Buchanan, Jesse Cofield, Emerson Lapsia. Let's go. Once again, overcoming the adversity. It's raining outside. Most organizations would cancel their show.
We tried.
Right. Yeah.
Not us.
Yeah.
Not us.
Back-to-back weeks.
Right, back-to-back weeks of coming
These
in
have
the
been
rain.
some moist Tuesdays.
Yeah. But we won't be silenced,
Right.
unlike Orioles broadcaster
Wow, that's not very nice.
That's a great
Kevin
transition.
Brown.
Yeah.
Okay? This was the weirdest situation ever. He made some completely innocuous comments about the Orioles, stated a fact in a very matter-of-fact way. Like, he did not, you could not watch the footage and say that he was like making a joke or he was trying to, he literally just stated a fact, which was that, the Orioles hadn't won there since.
They're like 0-15-1
Yeah.
in
Which
series.
is a fact.
More reason
It's a
to
fact.
appreciate what they're doing now.
Right.
What is
so,
going on?
But then, so he came out with a statement saying.
He did, or the team?
Yes, saying, as you can see, we're all good here in
Everything's all good.
Birdland. It said a lot more than that.
No one
but-
talks like that.
Yeah. What was your take? I know you've talked about this a little bit on the pods, but what was your take on the situation and now this statement that feels like someone wrote it for him?
Yeah, I think so the statement made me not feel bad for him at all. Like it undid everything when you had broadcasters and everyone standing up for him, being like, "You're going to suspend this dude for just telling the truth, just for saying that you guys were not a good baseball team when you played at the Trop." Like, that's unjust. Like, we need to rally around Kevin Brown and support him and show our support for this guy. Then he puts out this statement, "Hey, guys, everything's all good here. Like, don't worry about me. Like, not a big deal." Like, no, dude. Like, absolutely not. I get you want to keep your job. You want to keep your bosses happy. And there's only 30 gigs in the league for Major League broadcasters. That's fine. But have some self-respect, dude. Like, they suspended you for doing your job, and then you went out there and defended them. No, you just don't say anything at all. Like, perfect example, right? Don Orsillo, to this day, still, like, I talked to him, I don't know, 7 years ago, about coming on the podcast, and he's like, it's just still too raw right now. Like, I don't want to say anything on it right now. That was 2015. It's 2023, and he still hasn't spoken about how he was treated on the way out. This dude puts out a statement like 3 days later. Is like, "All right, guys, yeah, everything's all good. Like, don't worry about it." So, yeah, I don't know. There's definitely ways to do it where you don't have to go back on your employer. Like, I understand, like, you want job security and all that. I feel like he's got job security now. Like, if he just says nothing, imagine if he got fired for just saying that the Orioles didn't play well against the Rays in Tropicana Field. Like, that would be absurd. So, yeah, it was a completely avoidable situation. But now I don't feel bad for him anymore.
Okay.
But Steve, do you think that the Orioles came to him and said, "You have to say this or we're going to fire you"?
I mean, I don't know if it was laid out like that, but like it was definitely a robotic response. And I mean, look, I'm not going to act like I listen to him all the time, and maybe this is just how he is. Like, I don't listen to the Orioles broadcasts, but it is very odd that like this, I mean, they never expected for this to have the spotlight that it did. Like when other broadcasts were like, defending his honor, and they're like, "Oh, we need him to come back. Like, this is ridiculous." Like, they never expected for it to blow up like this. So I think both sides are just playing nice right now, but it's extremely awkward because how the whole situation played out and then what happened after and then bringing him back. Like, it's obvious they brought him back because of all the pressure that was put on the organization. The whole thing is just ridiculous, and it's like taking away from what should be viewed as like an unbelievable, magical season for an Orioles team that was not even expected to be in the position that they were. Were they supposed to be good? Sure. Were they supposed to be in first place in mid-August? Absolutely not. So this is something that needs to just go away, swept under the rug, and it is what it is.
Yeah, and unnecessary distractions. So let's help Kevin Brown out here and enter the Orioles Spin Zone. So we will give you guys, and we'll chime in as well, a negative stat about the Orioles or someone on this team.
Again, a stat that is true.
Yeah. Right.
And then you try to not get suspended. Starting with, Jared, the Baltimore Orioles are still paying Chris Davis through the year 2037. Spin zone it for us here,
Keep
big
in mind,
boy.
Orioles leadership is very sensitive.
Yeah. Thank God the Baltimore Orioles had the gall and the conviction to rid themselves of Chris Davis. They were smart enough. They were financially supported enough to be able to move on from Chris Davis so that he didn't have to clog up a roster spot for this Orioles lineup.
Steve, do you have a spin zone on this? Can you spin this in a positive light?
I mean, you got another version of Adam Dunn who's not going to hit for average. He's just going to hit a ton of bombs. Think of all the excitement that he did twice in a season. He had over 40 home runs. Now, unfortunately, those 40 home runs were sandwiched in between 2014 when they really kind of used them there. But this is somebody, a big-time power hitter. That was one of the most sought-after free agents when he was a free agent there. So they did their due diligence and brought that man in.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Are you looking at me? You want me?
No, you don't have to force it if you don't want to.
Chris
no.
Davis is still available for the Orioles through 2037. Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God. Okay, how about this one? Jared, the Baltimore Orioles have not won a playoff series since 2014.
Yeah, so the thing about that
Suspended!
is that the Baltimore Orioles have done a fantastic job at rebuilding. You know, they've just
taken
been
the scenic
sitting
route
there year after year saying, you know what, we're gonna lose now because it's all gonna be worth it later when we have Gunnar Henderson and we have Adley Rutschman and Jackson Holiday. All that losing that we did, fans, that amounted to draft picks that we're going to turn into a core, that then that core is going to turn into not one, not two, not three, but maybe 4+ World Series titles here in Birdland.
So you mentioned losing, so unfortunately we're going to have to suspend you.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I'd say something like, congratulations, Orioles fans. You are really channeling your inner 2014 where it looks like this could be the next opportunity to win a playoff series. Congratulations.
That was horrible.
Steve,
That was not bad.
Steve, how would you spin this?
I would say, fans, nobody was stopping that Royals team that year. That was just a team of destiny. Not even the early 2000 Yankees would have been able to topple the 2014 Kansas City Royals. So no matter what we put out there on the fields, that team was just unstoppable. We'll get them next time.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
Let's go with Orioles' best young hitter, Gunnar Henderson, is hitting just 193 versus lefties this season, Jared.
So the thing about Gunnar Henderson against lefties, he's due. He is absolutely saving all of his big hits against lefties for the postseason, which is where the first place Orioles are headed, October.
Wow. Steve?
Steven?
A lot of people like to say that left-on-left crime just isn't right anyways. Like, that's not something that we should expect. But you know what is great? When there's runners in scoring position and we need Gunnar Henderson to do something, he's hitting 286 in that situation. We'll take that any day of the year.
Wow. I kind of bought that one.
Yeah. I would say, listen, he's not hitting 192.
Okay.
Wow.
It's true.
Thanks.
Yeah, I would say he's really building, as a player now.
Yeah.
You got to face some opposition before you can. It's a break to build situation.
Yeah. Sure.
So we're doing well here. All right, last one. Steve, the Orioles lead the majors in blown saves with 25.
Yeah,
You weren't expecting to go first, were you?
Yeah, can't win them all. Can't win them all. But you know what? They're also fourth in saves with 39. So, while we are blowing some games, we're saving the majority of them.
You can't
Win them all.
I mean, I think that's a surprising stat. I mean, that's the spin zone, is that this Orioles bullpen is so good that I thought that was a fake stat. There's no way that they've blown 25 games because King Felix Bautista, one of the best relievers in the game, the back end there. So it's like, all right, as long as put it this way, O's fans, those blown saves, those weren't by your closer. Those were the other guys. And you know what? Those other guys, we're not going to see them in playoff games, which, again, is where we're going October. In the playoffs, we're going to have one of the best relievers, two best relievers in the back end of the bullpen. So all those other blown saves, it's got nothing to do with those guys. You're in good hands once it comes postseason time.
Wow.
I would say you can't blow a save if you don't have the lead, and you've had the lead quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. That was
Okay.
your first good
I
one.
would say we probably
I'm
would
so
all get
back.
suspended for one of those, but
Yeah.
you can't win them all, as we've
can't.
said a few times.
Truly.
Indeed. Let's move on to the next one here. Michael Lorenzen, right, pitching a no-hitter last week in these sweet Vans cleats.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
They're not heading to the Hall of Fame for display, but it did get us thinking a little bit. What item would be displayed in your career Hall of Fame? Time to do a little show and tell.
What's in the box? Give us the bag.
Samir, our lovely
Oh.
assistant,
Oh,
could
okay.
you please
Yeah, Samir.
fetch us the bag of goodies?
Yeah.
What?
It is heavy because there are
Yeah.
real objects in this DraftKings branded bag.
Thank you, Samir.
First, we'll pull out what appears to be
Oh.
Jesse Cofield.
Oh, do you want me to go first?
Yeah, do
Okay.
tell.
So this is my ACC Player of the Week plaque. It's from my sophomore year at Boston College, where I played lacrosse. And I was the first ACC Player of the Week in BC women's lacrosse history. I was a sophomore. So basically, I was an elite athlete, very impressive.
Wow.
And
Oh my
this
God.
is just, putting that really in
Yeah.
this isn't stone. It's putting it on a plaque. Really, how good I was.
That's great.
Was
So-
that hung up anywhere, or did you have to dig that out of a closet somewhere?
I had to dig it out of a box in the basement.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it this morning.
Got it.
There it is.
I got it this morning.
Sophomore Jesse Cofield.
Wow.
Yeah, so basically what I did was I was a defender and I was matched up with UVA's #1 attacker and I held her to 0 goals.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, and we won the game.
there you go.
That was sweet. They wouldn't have been able to win that without you.
Definitely
No.
would not have been able to win it without me.
Some say the MVP.
Yeah, some would say.
All right. This appears to be
Oh.
a
Wow.
baseball.
Okay.
Pass that on over to the baseball thrower.
Wow.
Here you go. This is 6504. Never forget. A lot of people, you can still hear the screams in Revere.
Yeah,
If you go down
that's
there.
the rumor going around.
Yep, 13 strikeouts. So this was in 2004. 13 was not my lucky number until 2004. And then I went back and I looked because I was number 3 the whole time because I wore number 3. I was born on the 3rd. And then in 2004, I was the captain. And I was like, I picked the jersey that I thought was 3. It was 13. Red Sox win the World Series in 2004. Throw a no-hitter with 13 strikeouts.
Wow.
Yeah, and then
That's the spin zone right
then they
there.
won the World Series in 2013.
Indeed.
2018 was the 13th year that I was covering the Red Sox. 2007, that was my freshman year of college, 13th grade.
Wow.
This is
13th grade.
Jared Carabas, 13 letters.
Holy
My
crap.
season ticket,
this is
my
well,
season
stop.
Getting
ticket
freaky.
seat number at Fenway Park, 13.
13. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah. Yep. So there it is.
How old were you when you threw that?
This was I was
He
16.
was 13.
I wish I was
No,
13.
he was 16.
Yeah.
He was 16.
Yeah, I was 16.
Okay.
Bukes,
Wow, pretty cool.
Yeah, that's it. Right
what do you
there.
got, Bukes?
All right, so obviously I'm a world-renowned dodgeball player.
Yes, he is.
I could not find my jersey, but I did go to Staples this morning. Oh, it's a little for
I
crinkles.
did go to Staples.
And I
this
printed
morning.
out the dynasty photo of everybody with all the trophies
Wow.
that we won, that this was in the Lowell Sun, which is local newspaper
Yep,
here.
yep.
But I wanted to do this something special. Jared, I'm going to sign this and I'm going to give it to you.
Can you
Whoa.
personalize it, please?
I am, because I don't want you to put it on eBay.
I won't do
So
that.
I'm
yet.
gonna-
This
I'm
is
gonna-
friendship.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is a
Wait, but
bromance. This is a team
explain
player.
to the people at home what you won.
Yeah, so we were a nationally ranked dodgeball team, #1 in the country. Won the entire thing, the World Championship in Las Vegas, just like the movie. Went out there, won the whole thing. There's newspaper articles about it. We traveled the country. We drove to Buffalo, New York to play a tournament.
That's right. That's where my wife's from.
Played the tournament, won, drove back home same day. Over 17 hours of drive time. Dedicated.
It's a lot of dudes in a van, huh?
A lot of people say that this is where I peaked in life, and they're correct.
Wow. And now you'll get a piece of that history.
Thank you.
That's
That's
real. Put that in
Thank
your
you
house.
so much.
That's real
Uncrinkle it
friendship.
and put that in your room.
He's
my
going to get
God.
that framed and put it above his bed.
All right, well,
which one is
I'll wrap
you?
up this segment here with what I would be
That's you.
displaying in my career Hall of Fame is one of my wife's Emmys.
You
Because,
stole one of Meg's Emmys?
yeah,
Chris?
so I did, not,
Yeah.
I did not tell her I was bringing this in today, but what my biggest career achievement is marrying up to a woman who is very talented.
Oh, boy, they got
And
into
I'm
an
a
argument
trophy
yesterday.
husband now because she has won
He wants to
3
go
of
out
these.
this weekend.
This one is baseball related. This was from her coverage of Big Papi being shot, so it really works well with this show.
Jesus.
Yep.
What on
So
earth?
this is at the top of my trophy case.
So Meg is going to be super pissed that you threw that in a
we
draft
did it,
bag
Meg.
and just
Meg, we
dragged it.
did it.
Yeah.
Good job.
Whatever you were angling
Okay.
for, it's not going to work now.
No, it's not going to work.
So good thing she doesn't watch this show. Doesn't see that I have
Let's
that.
make sure we clip that up and put it on all the internets.
Do not
she
do
is on
that.
Twitter, so make sure you put it on Twitter.
Yeah, I haven't accomplished much in my life, so I'm just gonna kind of
Well, don't make it
you know,
sad.
pitch my wagon to my talented wife. All right, time for a commercial break.
Yeah. Wow.
And coming up after said commercial break, we are going to be talking about quick wit. Just how quick is this dude? We're going to compare it to some of the incredible animals on this planet, and I believe Jared Carrabis also has a very serious, in-depth discussion with him. All right, so last night the Royals win over the Mariners. Bobby Witt Jr. showing off his speed with an inside the park home run. Casey shortstop making it all the way around the bases in 14.3 freaking seconds. That's the 4th fastest home-to-home sprint recorded since StatCast became a thing in 2015. So here is how Bobby Witt Jr. stacks up against the fastest guys in the league. No one really has anything on Ellie De La Cruz. The number you're seeing on the left, by the way, sprint speed, that's defined as feet per second in a player's fastest 1 second window. But producer Slates has been kind enough to put the miles per hour on the screen
Wow.
for those of us not great at converting sprint speed.
I mean, they couldn't keep that up, for a mile.
All right, yeah, and just to put this in perspective, I ran a 4.540 in high
didn't.
school, okay? And when I convert that, 18.18 miles per hour. So
That's
I'm
not
just
true.
off that
Do you guys
list.
remember in like middle school when you would go to recess and like run a mile in jeans and then just go to math?
Hell yeah. I love playing sand
Just be
volleyball in
sweaty
jeans.
and disgusting. And
I still do that now.
Steve, do you want to go run a mile?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
For the show, for
in
content.
in the streets of Boston.
Do you think you could? I couldn't.
Run a mile?
Yeah.
Oh, it'd take me a while.
I could run a mile, but it would
Are you?
be like
yeah,
an 8-minute
okay.
mile.
At this moment.
At this moment, I could
You
run
could.
a
Yeah,
mile. Sure.
I don't know. I actually am
run a mile.
confident in saying I'm the fastest person in the studio.
You could run quickly for like 100 yards.
Yeah, 'cause if you look
and
at
then
me-
you would start to fail.
Well, I'm a combination, if you look at my build, between a sprinter and long distance. So it's kind of the best of both worlds.
Okay, well, let's play a little game here
I would love this.
called Quick Wit. So we are talking about how fast we are, which, you just have to take our word for it. But we'll give you an animal. You have to tell me
Whoa.
if it's faster than Bobby Witt Jr.,
Okay.
who, as we just saw, can run 20.73 miles per hour.
Okay.
So does
Yeah, it's very fast.
Slates have the answer to these?
I don't
Or
know.
we
I
just
forgot to
guess?
ask him about this part of the segment. Anywho,
We'll see them on the screen.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
So, okay.
All right.
So let's start with a hippo.
Oh, he's faster than a hippo.
No, hippos are fast.
I was going to say hippos are low-key sprinters.
Very
yeah,
fast.
yeah.
I
I
would
do
say
have a question.
a
Is
hippo's
this
faster.
is this on land or in water? I believe they're
gonna be on
faster in
land.
water.
No,
you
they're
don't
not.
have to,
It's
just
gonna
say
be
yes
on-
or no. Like, you don't have to get all deep
Actually,
into
what I
this.
do, Steve, is I do my research and I ask questions.
Okay,
Okay.
I say the hippo is faster.
Well, in that case, so is the hippo 2 years old or 5 years old?
Okay,
That
let's do
matters.
a reveal.
19
Oh,
miles per
so
hour.
I'm-
Okay,
I'm
Bobby
right.
Witt
Bobby,
Jr.
you're
taking
I'm right.
the dub
I'm the
there.
only one who's right.
You are right. That's
Thank
pretty.
you.
that's
Now,
pretty
an
wild.
animal very similar to said hippopotamus is a rhinoceros. Now, a rhino, what do you think? What do you think?
I
Because you're big on rhinos.
I would say that Wit is faster than the rhino.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would say
no way.
that Wit is faster than the rhino, and the hippopotamus is also faster than the rhino.
See, there's definitely going to be some weird animals on here that we're all going to be like, oh, there's no way. But
Yeah.
there actually is going to be, and I feel like this is one of them.
Okay.
I'm going to say the
Yeah.
rhino's faster.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Look at that. That
34
horned
miles an
animal
hour.
just coming at you.
Yeah, so it's faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
I got one. How about a lion?
It has to
Oh
be.
my God, definitely.
Is
a
this
lion.
one of those ones where we're like, it's obviously a lion and it's not?
Yeah.
No, it's got to be a lion. They have to chase down antelope
Yeah.
and their prey and stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
lions are definitely faster.
Okay, the lion's faster.
Yeah, we all agree. Clean sweep, lion faster.
Whoa!
Wow. Holy hell.
Jeez. Okay, this one is one that could get us here. How about an ostrich?
This is definitely
Ostriches
1,000%.
are fast too.
They're fast,
They
right?
have long strides. An ostrich is faster
Yep.
than.
Faster. There is
Bobby.
no
Okay,
question.
the
about
ostrich is faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
43.
Absolutely burning.
Those things are cooking.
Okay, how about a shark? And Emerson, the shark is in the water. It's
Okay.
not on
Well,
land.
that's
If
good.
it's on land,
we're
it's
not
dead.
talking like a Sharknado
Well,
here.
this
No.
is a little annoying. I'm not to be too Emerson here, but like, what kind of shark are we talking about? I'm assuming we're talking about like a great white
We'll
shark.
just go
Hey,
great
there's
white.
nothing
That
wrong
says
with
it's,
being
is
too
that a
Emerson.
tiger shark? That's a tiger
Oh,
shark?
it's a tiger shark. Those
Tiger
are
shark.
pretty fast,
And
right?
they're
No,
also
I'm going
pretty
to say
angry.
no.
Yeah,
gonna say
20
no.
miles an hour is fast in the water. I'm gonna say Bobby Witt is faster than a
Okay.
tiger shark.
I'm going
Bobby-
shark.
Yeah. Just
Bobby
barely.
Witt is
Yeah,
faster.
Just barely.
All right.
Okay. How about the American crocodile?
Crocodile's
Those
faster.
things are fast.
Fast,
Can't they
fast.
zoom?
Now, is this on land or is this in
it's
the water?
on land, my dog.
My dog.
Why is this so confusing for you?
Also, I did
not
hear
that
that
confusing.
crocodiles, aren't you supposed to run in a
You're
zigzag
puzzled.
if a
Yes,
crocodile's coming
yeah.
for you because they can't turn?
What do you have to
It
do?
looks like
You
it's
have
in
to
the
run it
water.
in a zigzag.
pattern.
It is zigzag.
Yeah.
They can't turn.
They have to stop.
They say that to do that
Put their
also
blinker on.
if you're being shot by a sniper rifle.
Oh yeah, well,
So those are two things that you could do.
two
that for.
things you can do is run
good
a zigzag.
sniper will probably
I think
still
a
get
sniper
you.
could be like, okay, an obvious pattern. I'll
That's
just reveal.
Reveal it.
Is that 20 or
Wow.
29?
It's
Wait, is that 20 or 29?
20.
Okay.
20.
So wait.
Oh, it's not that fast.
I can't
All
read
right.
these on my
Okay,
glasses.
finally.
There you go.
All
You're
right.
blind.
Absolute lightning animals here we're talking about. The English Springer Spaniel, and we do have a
Emerson's
sample
dogs
video from this morning of another fast individual running. Look at them. Now, again, I'm running 18.8 miles
Okay,
per
so,
hour.
so this one is on land.
This one, although it was very wet and moist out there. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do we think here?
They caught you pretty easily
Yeah.
both times.
I would say that the dog. I think the dogs are faster. Have you
I
ever
think
tried
the
to run
dogs,
away
too.
from a dog? They're on you in like
Right.
2 seconds.
It's got to be the
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
Cops
Yeah.
use them to get people.
Well, those are
That's
because they're
true.
canines.
fast.
Those are
Yeah.
specially trained.
But Springer Spaniels are a herding working dog.
Yeah, they're the sporting breed.
I would say the
It's
dog.
the
Reveal
dogs,
it.
it's the
Reveal
dogs,
it. Reveal
yeah.
it. Yeah! Look at my little speed demons.
I can't read it. It's too far, so I'm just going to clap.
Fashionistas, they are perfect.
Yeah.
And they are fast and quick.
They are, and beautiful.
Beautiful. They're everything.
Pristine.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah,
For
anytime.
playing along there. Of
course.
Now it is time to listen to your conversation
Yes.
with one of the fastest men to ever play the sport of baseball.
But not faster than a rhinoceros.
With the second selection of the 2019 MLB Draft, the Kansas City Royals select Bobby.
There goes Witt Jr. easily stealing second base.
Bobby destroys it. Deep left field. Wake up. 3-run shot. Bobby Witt Jr.
All right, we're here with Bobby Witt Jr. of the Kansas City Royals. I want to start off by saying congratulations. I don't know if you saw my tweet yesterday, but you've officially made it into my top 3 favorite players in the league.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's huge.
Thank
That's
you.
big time. I mean, Nolan Arenado has had like a firm grasp on like that top 3 for like the last like 5-6 years, but you've cracked the top 3. And another congratulations to you because you are one of one. You are the first player in Major League history to start off your career back-to-back seasons, 20 homers, 30 stolen bases. Does that even like register in your head? Like I've done something that no one else in this game has ever done?
I think the more and more it's kind of been talked about, and then it's an honor. Just anytime you get to be the first of something in this game, I think just thinking of it that way, it's truly just a blessing. It's just like my dad told me, like this, just take it all in, just experience it, take it, and then just enjoy it. But also just keep getting better each and every day. Keep doing it, and just keep trying to do that each and every year.
Did you know as you were closing in on it that no one else had ever done it, or was it after you did it that they were like, "Oh, hey, by the way"?
Yeah, it's kind of after I did it. Whenever I was going into my next at bat, I was looking for my bat, and I was like, "Where's my bat?" And I knew it was my 20th homer, but I didn't know it was something like that. So then I found our clubby. He had my bat, and he goes, you might not want to use this bat anymore.
yeah, this one might be going to the Hall of Fame. So, I mean, going back, because I went to message you today, and the last time that I messaged you was, I think I was congratulating you on getting called up to the big leagues for the first time. So you've been on my radar since the 2019 draft. You get taken in the first round, second overall, and going back to look at your high school numbers, senior year, you're hitting over 500. Like, you're a very humble guy. How do you manage that? Like, how do you go through your professional and amateur baseball career having so much success immediately and be like, yeah, no, I'm just Bobby. It is what it is.
I think it's more so motivation, just because of you do this at a young age or whatever, and you're on this paper to be the top, this guy, this, you're supposed to be this or whatever, and so it's just motivation, just try to kind of almost prove it right, I guess, and just keep working, keep preparing each and every year, each and every day, just to try to get better. And that's my ultimate goal, just to try to never stop at just one thing. Don't really set too many goals, because you just want to try to make the sky's the limit each and every year. And so just try to live that mantra and just take it day by day, and not try to look too far ahead, not look in the past, and just enjoy every moment.
When you're hitting over 500, do you have like a 2 for 4 day and be like, I kind of sucked?
I don't really remember too much, like with the high school stuff. Really, we're just trying to my freshman, sophomore, junior year, trying to win a state championship, fell short, and then the senior year, that was pretty much the goal. Yeah. And so that pretty much helped with everything, all the draft stuff, with the scouts in the stands, all that noise and everything. It just really, whenever I was just focusing on the team and everything, just trying to do my job, that's whenever I started playing well and just things started going well.
Everyone knows that you come from a line of Major League Baseball talent, but you're a position player. Pop's not the same. So who was your guy growing up where it's like, I'm sure your dad is your hero, but at the end of the day, you're a position player. So who was your guy that you were watching on TV being like, I want to be like that guy?
I grew up, well, oddly enough, Dustin Pedroia was my guy.
Okay.
That's why my Instagram handle, BWitter15, I always wore 15, and then Jeter was also my guy. So it's kind of funny growing up just with Red Sox, Yankees, kind of that stuff. And then I love watching Michael Young as well, just three guys that I kind of wanted to emulate my game around, and then that's why in high school and stuff I wore 17, 15, and 2, Jeter, Pedroia. So then those are the two jerseys I have hanging above my bed, autographed. So those are kind of my guys that I watch. They're both high energy guys on the field and did things I think right off the field as well.
Have you ever met Pedroia?
Yes, I have. Yeah, the first time we were out here. I can't remember how old I was. My dad represented him. He's a baseball agent, and so I think I was 8, and we were at some I think local Mexican restaurant around here, and I didn't think I took a bite of my food. I was at the end of the table, he's at the end of the table. I was just staring at him across. I was just
So you met him as a kid?
Yes, yeah.
Have you met him as a big leaguer?
We've kind of texted back and forth just a little bit whenever made my debut, and then I'll get a birthday text, so which is awesome. I see that, and it's incredible seeing that. So yeah.
So as a guy that is so dynamic in terms of speed, power, and being able to hit for average and all that, what aspect of your game are you most proud of, because that's what you had to work the hardest at? Like I'm assuming you're working hard in the gym and everything, but some of the speed, when you're talking about being one of the fastest, if not the fastest player in the game, that's God given. But what part of your game are you most proud of because you had to work the hardest at it?
I think it's just a little bit of everything, and then it comes down to the mental side as well. I think that's one of the guys that one of the things that a lot of guys I think either take for granted or they don't see. You playing 162 games, we're traveling around the whole United States, just playing each and every day, and just really just trying not to get caught up in the limelight and everything. Just go about your business, be prepared each and every day, and just have that same focus, but then also come to the field with the right mindset, but then also you have to be yourself off the field. That's why I kind of like to be, whenever I'm at home and everything, I'm Bobby, and then I kind of get on the bus, go to the field, then I'm Junior, and turn that on a little bit. And so that's kind of something that I've been just trying to flip the switch whenever, from being Bobby to Junior or whatever it is, and just trying to have that mentality. I think so, but also every part of the game, whether it's hitting, fielding, base running, all those things, I feel like you just always got to prepare. There's not really one thing that I feel like I'm satisfied with. I think there's got to keep working at all the tools.
Your dad has local roots. You grew up a Dustin Pedroia fan. If like making your, I guess, like Fenway debut last year, do you compartmentalize that? Like, are you able to come up here and be like, all right, like it's just another big league game and I need to focus? Or was part of you saying like, holy shit, like I'm playing at Fenway Park right now in the big leagues?
Definitely last year, just flying into Boston, getting to the hotel, and then
I saw you. I remember that.
Yeah.
I didn't get to talk to you, but I remember like I was on the other side and I was like, what's up?
Yeah, just showing up to the field, hitting BP. It was just like, I don't know really how to describe it. It was one of those moments where making your debut, getting to play at home in front of the fan, like in Texas and everything, and then playing here was, I think, one of the top things. I still say, what's your favorite road stadium? Fenway Park, because I grew up going to the games. Grandparents got to come out here. They live about 20 minutes away, and then just a lot of family, friends, and just in the stands. So it was super surreal, and I just, like we talked about, I grew up a Red Sox fan with my dad being from here, so it was awesome.
How many tickets did you have to bug your teammates for that series?
It was actually nice because my dad's, or the family, they're all season ticket holders. So
Okay,
they're all Red Sox fans, but it was cool seeing them with Royals gear on and everything, so yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. How, the first time that you ever truly faced failure, when was it, and how do you think you handled it?
I think you face failure, whether it's I feel like in high school I went through it too, it just happened, just with losing games, whatever it was, not winning the state championship, but then in pro ball it kind of hit you hard. And so it's like sometimes you feel like you want to change things, you have to, I got to do this, I got to do that, but then other times it's just you just got to learn through the failure. You just got to go through it, and I think that was the best thing for me. With last year, starting the year wasn't great to start the year and whatever that last year, and then this year same thing. Didn't start out great, few months, and then started getting things. And I think it's just really just settling in, just being myself, preparing, having a good routine, and then just trying to be ready for each and every day and just try to do my job to help the team.
When you're playing high school ball, you talk about playing like the state championship. You played Team USA. Like you've played in highly competitive situations. Right now, Kansas City in a little bit of a rebuild right now. How do you stay focused when you look up at the standings and you're like, man, like we're not in it right now. Like I'm not playing for a division title right now, and that's frustrating. But how do you stay focused on your individual game when that really has to be the focus?
Yeah, it's kind of how I said earlier. Just try to just stay where you're at today. Not worried about yesterday. Not worry about tomorrow. Just focus on what can I do today to get myself better, help the team win today, and not really trying to. I'm not a big guy looking at stats, not looking at standings, nothing really. Just let those things play out, and whatever happens. You just got to control what you control. Try to be as worry-free as possible and just enjoy each and every moment. And so that's kind of how I'm trying to just go about it. And then as the wins stack up, they stack up and just keep rolling.
When your career is over, what do you hope your teammates say about you?
Yeah, I think guys they remember you sometimes as stats, but I just try to be the best teammate as possible. Just try to impact people's lives, whether it's on the field or off the field. Just talk to them about the game, talk to them about everything, get to know their family, whatever it is. Just try to be, because this game will, when I get done playing, it'll still be going on, and it won't even have anything to remember about it, just me playing. So it's just, the game goes on. Like, you're just looking at the scoreboard, this stadium's been up since 1912, and the game's just all the players that's gone through, and just trying to be remembered as just a great teammate, and just try to guy that go out there and just always hustling and just try to be the best I can.
I think one of the things that baseball fans forget about guys like you, drafted in 19, you didn't have a minor league season in 2020. You were in the opening day lineup by 2022. Do you feel like you are ready? And what do you remember most about opening day? This is my first opening day, and I'm in the big leagues right now.
Yeah, it's just, I think the biggest you remember is just that call you get when we were in Arizona into the manager's office, and then just him telling you you officially made the roster. That just kind of brings chills to me right now. Just that, and then getting to call my parents, girlfriend, everyone, and just say you made the team. That's something that I hope every person who plays baseball gets to experience that, because that's literally once in a lifetime experience. So that, and then just whenever made my debut opening day, whenever my first at bat, kind of got a little standing ovation, and so that was special from the Kansas City crowd, and the fans are great out there. So that was two things that are just right, that sit heavy in my heart.
That's awesome. The last question, Dallas isn't here, but the last question that me and Dallas always ask every guest is, and I'm very interested to hear your answer. If you could go back in time to any moment in baseball history, you can witness it live in person. It can be before you were born. It can be you're 23 now. You can go back to the 2004 final out. Any moment in baseball history, and you're sitting in the stands, best seat in the house. You're watching it live in person. What is it?
I definitely would want to watch my dad pitch, whatever it was. I know that he was 1 out away from a perfect game when he was with Oakland one year, and then also he had a home run at Dodger Stadium. So one of those games would be special, just to see him pitch and perform in the live, because I've seen all the stories, seen the black and white footage that he says, but yeah, definitely just to see my dad play.
That's cool. That's cool that you went with Dad. I really appreciate that. All right, Bobby Witt Jr., thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up next, Jared and Steve are diving into tonight's MLB slate, one that includes the suddenly hot Trey Turner in Philadelphia. It's a turnaround in the city of brotherly love.
Well, hello there. Welcome back to the Sweat Tuesday Takeover with Jared Carabas. I'm Steve Buchanan. We're going to talk about the baseball slate going on tonight. Some big games coming on. We'll talk a little daily fantasy plays, some sportsbook plays, but let's get right into it here. AL East versus NL East. Phillies and Blue Jays going here tonight. You got Zach Wheeler, who's has been the Phillies' best pitcher, going up against Yusei Kikuchi, who's been often injured. Still doesn't have great command, but he's taking them out here tonight. Blue Jays have a 2-game lead over Seattle in that last wild card spot. Phillies remain atop the wild card currently. But the big story here has been the re-emergence, I guess you could say, of Trey Turner since the Philly faithful decided to give him a standing ovation. Since that happened,
OPS over 1,000.
He slashed in 436, 463, 744 with 6 doubles, 2 home runs, 10 RBI, and a stolen base. Is this what Trey Turner needed? Just a little, little push.
I mean, it seems like that's the case, right?
Yeah.
I feel like, you play in LA, you play in DC. Like LA, there's expectations there, but it's not Philly. Like Philly is a completely different beast. We were out there for all 3 NLCS games last October, and those fans are so loud, so passionate, but they're also really angry people. So if you just signed for 300 and what was it, 30? Did you get 300 even, or was it 330?
I thought it was 330 is what came to my mind
330.
immediately.
Let's just call it 300 plus. He gets 300 plus million to go to play for the Philadelphia Phillies, and you're statistically one of the worst players in the league.
Truly.
That's going to weigh on you, and it's going to make you perform worse. It's going to make you feel like you're going to have to press. And when the Phillies fans are like, hey, we love you no matter what, we're here to support you, he's taken off ever since.
No explanation needed. Yes or no answer. The WBC screwed him up.
No.
Okay. White Sox at Cubs, the inter-city series here. Only 2 games here. Kind of odd that I saw. Touki Toussaint going up against Kyle Hendricks. Like I mentioned, this is just a brief 2-game series. The Cubs made a move at the deadline, made a couple moves at the deadline. Unlike the Angels, the Cubs have been one of the highest scoring teams in the month of August. 78-run score, which places them 3rd in the league for the month of August. Kyle Hendricks, though, has been struggling at home, ERA over 5.5, though, but going up against the White Sox, who, obviously kind of cleared house at the trade deadline. Their offense has really been putrid since then. Luis Robert's been hurt for the past couple of games. Do you think that the Cubs are for real at this point because they made it past the deadline, they kept their core guys, and they're really kind of making a run for it here?
Yeah, even when they were hovering around 500, they needed that 8-game winning streak to end up with a winning record. But if you look at their run differential for the whole year, I mean, they've been a legit team the whole time. Like, they're what, like plus 70?
54, I think
I thought they were even higher than that. Sorry. So I think, like they're about as legit as it gets for a team that's not currently in possession of a wild card spot.
Brewers at Dodgers. I look at this one as a very interesting spot for the rest of the NL Central because the Brewers have this tough series against the Dodgers, whereas the Reds and Cubs have very winnable series that they're playing. The Reds are playing the Guardians. The Cubs we just talked about are playing the White Sox here, and the Brewers are trying to kind of stave both of these teams off. Both of those teams, 3.5 games out. You got Adrian Hauser going up against Bobby Miller. Is this a bigger series than people maybe give the Brewers credit for because of what their other guys in the Central are playing right now, and they could easily gain ground or even tie for the first place if they sweep those series?
No doubt, yeah. And I think the Brewers are one of those teams that people have just been sleeping on all year because they're not.
Every year,
it's not a sexy team.
It's not at all.
Like it's not like Christian Yelich is not the MVP caliber player that he was in 2018 and 2019. Like at least in those years, it's like it was fun, it was exciting, and you had an MVP candidate on those teams. Like you had Brandon Woodruff and Corbin Burns, and they were both battling out for Cy Young. And you had Hader in the 9th. You don't have him anymore. He's in San Diego. Devin Williams was still a guy that everyone was fascinated by the changeup. And he's still an all-star caliber reliever. But it's not like you're not going Devin Williams to Josh Hader anymore. So if for whatever reason, like the star power has been sucked out of Milwaukee, but that hasn't dampened their chances to win the division, being a first-place team. It's a big series for them.
If the Dodgers win this game tonight, it'll be 10 in a row for Los Angeles. Going to the daily fantasy side, talk about some guys you can play in your lineup for tonight. I like Alec Baum going up against Yusei Kikuchi. We're talking about how he's been often injured here, but bomb against lefties has been nothing short of phenomenal this season. 380 WOBA with a 139 WRC plus against lefties. He's hitting 306 in the second half, 9 extra base hits. We talk about some of the better offensive players on the Phillies. I feel like he's somebody that hasn't been mentioned enough. Even better, with men in scoring position for the year, he's hitting 359. What are your thoughts on kind of a really big second half for him thus far?
Yeah, I mean, like, this was a guy that I feel like a lot of people wrote off in the first half. Been in the league enough time to kind of say, is this who he is? Is this who he's going to be?
Third year now? Up
Yeah.
2.5? Yeah.
Yeah.
Around that.
I think like the expectations for him were much higher, and now you're sort of starting to see why the expectations were so high. I'm not willing to call him like a big piece of what they've got going on in Philadelphia, but when you don't have a Rhys Hoskins, you need the Alec Boehms of the world to be able to step up, and he's been doing that.
Yeah, and he's been hitting higher in the lineup recently. He was around 6th or 7th. I believe he's hitting second now recently, if I'm not mistaken. Sports bet for tonight. I could not believe the odds when I saw this. Braves 1.5 on the run line was minus 105. They're going up against Luis freaking Severino. Oh, now it's 115. People knew I was jumping on this, so the odds have changed.
Yeah.
They're going up against Luis Severino. The Yankees are just flat out starting him. No opener, no nothing. Going up against the Braves, who have scored at least 6 runs in 11 of their last 13 games. Luis Severino, 21 runs allowed in his last 4 starts, including 6 home runs. You're telling me the Braves are not going to win this game by at least 2 runs tonight? Come on.
Yeah, this is, and then Bryce Elder, I think he's like top 3 on the Braves in wins above replacement as well. He's having a great year. But Luis Severino, statistically, he's got to be one of the worst, if not the worst, pitchers in baseball.
Yep.
Like the Yankees' only chance in this game is if he goes out there in the first inning and gives up 5 or 6 runs without recording an out.
Yeah.
So then they would have to like remove him from the game, and it's like, all right, he only gave up 6. That gives us a chance to win this game.
It's been amazing how the fall from grace that we've seen from Luis Severino.
And the Yankees.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, Red Sox are fully healthy for the first time, but is it too little, too late? We'll discuss that next and what's going on in Jared's podcast when we return.
when you look at the Red Sox chances of making the playoffs, I don't know if this is like a sacrilegious take, but this is how I feel. Wouldn't it just feel weird if they made the playoffs? Like, at no point during the course of this year did I feel like, man, I'm watching a playoff team right now.
All right. Welcome back, everybody,
Thank you.
to the Tuesday Takeover with Jared Carrabis, Steve Buchanan, Emerson Latzia, Jesse Cofield. Did you say very somber, like
Yeah.
very serious? Yeah, well, it's raining outside. What do you expect?
It's raining.
I know. Everyone just feels off today.
Yeah.
Or is it just
Are
me?
you speaking for me?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, you
actually.
feel off.
Why do I feel off? I feel like I've been high energy today.
Okay. Yeah, I do
Hasn't been
too.
bad.
I do too.
Well, you're
I do
high
too.
energy on land, and the water's different.
In the water.
is-
And it is raining today, so we're all a little bit in the
Yeah,
water.
that's
I think
true.
it's safe to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about the Red Sox.
Let's talk about the Red
Oh,
Sox.
wow,
Okay.
that dramatic pause got me.
Yeah.
Because
Pulled
it's
me
kind
in.
of a subject that is a little, you know,
Touchy.
it's touchy. They're fully healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But is this too little too late here?
I don't think it's too little too late, but I'm not convinced that it's enough. I'm not convinced that it's enough. Over the weekend, you get back Chris Sale. He looked great. 4 1/3, 7 strikeouts, gave up the homer. Didn't walk anyone, which was amazing. He did hit a guy. That's fine. Garrett Whitlock, 2 innings, 3 strikeouts. He hit 97 on the gun, which was amazing. Trevor Story, Clark's catch-up series MVP for that weekend series. That's pretty big. So these guys, they're coming back. They're making an impact. But at the end of the day, it's like you didn't take advantage of that series against the Toronto Blue Jays. Like I've been calling it a death blow, but they're still in it. Like, it's not like it's over. They're not the Angels. Like, the Angels went out and lost however many straight they did. They've taken themselves out of it, more or less. But the Red Sox, they're still in it. It's just like they keep hovering around in it. Like, when are you going to be in it is in a playoff spot?
Yeah, Steve,
Three back
actually,
in the wild card right now.
what are their playoff odds right now?
Yeah, so obviously, you know, to make the playoffs, they're huge underdogs to make it. Yes is at plus 600. No is at minus 800. So obviously the no is the side here, and pretty convincingly too as well. But I think that these odds really don't properly show like how tight the wild card is, because like, you know, Jared's talking about how, you know, the Angels are pretty much out of it. The teams that are outside of a wild card spot is Seattle, the Red Sox, and the Yankees. Like, those are really the 3 teams that are in contention for that final wild card spot if Toronto does not end up keeping it there. So I feel like that it's going to be tight the whole way, because all of those teams have been like mid at best. Like Seattle just went on that huge winning streak 9 in a row, then they've lost the next 2 or 3 in like an unbelievably bad fashion too. Like, that's just how these teams are. Like, the Red Sox will go on a run and then they can't hit anything, it seems like, for days on end after that. So all of these teams are just like, who's going to win the mid-off here at this point? But at least from like a total win, a regular season wins perspective, like the Red Sox are right there. Their win total for the year ended at 77.5. They're 16 games away now from hitting the over on that, which they should be able to do that. But yeah, I mean, it's a mid-off really for that final wild card spot, it feels like.
And you got 3 against the Nationals starts tonight, Jared. Then what? 3 against the Yankees, which is going to be huge, like in the Bronx. And then 1, 2, 3,
Houston.
4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of your next 11 after that, Houston.
Yeah.
Tough.
And the Dodgers are in between that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mookie back, huh?
Yeah, JD. Yeah, they're going to have to do.
Make or break for the year.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, if you come out of that series ahead, then you're probably make or break for the year.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, if you come out of that series ahead, then you're probably in a pretty good spot. If you are under 500 in those games in that 2.5 weeks or so, like, you're done.
I mean, at the end of the day, they've played good against good teams. Like, they've handled Atlanta, teams like that. I go back in some of the series that I circle for, like, if the Red Sox don't make the playoffs, who's it, like, at fault? They got swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Right.
They lost a series to the Colorado Rockies. You know, like, they really struggled against some really bad teams earlier in the year. So I'm not saying I'm going into this gauntlet against Houston and LA confident, but it's more of a wait and see type deal than it's not daunting to me.
Red Sox are 36 and 32 against teams above 500 this year.
Okay.
Well, that definitely does not bode well for the upcoming schedule. And you look at how they closed the season, too, with like 6 straight games against AL East opponents, including the Rays and the Orioles. So
The Rays stink.
But they're still better than the Red Sox right now, correct?
Overall, but I tweeted out
As of right now?
I tweeted out the record since June 30th.
Yep.
They're second to last, second worst team in the division.
Great.
It's the Orioles and the Red Sox.
There's some weird stuff going on over there.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit.
Yes.
Quite a bit. Perfect time to end the show.
Yeah, absolutely. We should definitely end on that. Thank you guys for being here for the Tuesday Takeover. We appreciate it.
Great stuff, guys.
Yeah, good stuff.
We did it.
He's got a podcast.
It is still raining. He does have a podcast. He'll be doing the podcast on dry land this week.
Yeah. Maybe in water at some point.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be tight.
Yeah.
All right.
In the fountain at Kowloon.
18.18 miles per hour.
We're going to be there for that, even though
wedding.
we're just going to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my wedding.
Okay, great.
You guys are invited.
Congrats.
Can't wait.
Everyone.
Thank
On
you.
show and tell today as well.
All
Yeah,
right.
as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Please cut away.
Toodles. All right.